reminded that this is happening. It's not a dream.
Award-winning actor, loved by millions as Dr. McSteamy on Grey's Anatomy and in Euphoria. Still charismatic, still fighting. Now, his first television interview since receiving a crushing diagnosis of ALS.
Dane just came forward and said that he was diagnosed with ALS. And as you know, ALS is a horrible disease. I'll go into that in a minute. He played on Grey's Anatomy as Dr. Mark Sloan, or McSteamy, Dr. McSteamy. I never watched Grey's, but I know so many people that were huge fans. He was also in Euphoria as Jacob Elordi's dad. And he's been in Hollywood a long time. Also goes by Lou Gehrig's disease because it was the Baseball Hall of Famer whose diagnosis helped raise awareness of ALS. And many other people I looked up. Steve Gleason has had it since 1979. Dennis Day, 1916. Roberta Flack, 1937 to 2025. There's people that have had it and lived with it for pretty long, right? It's called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that. Also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. Progressive neurodegenerative disease that affects motor neurons. And like I said, several famous people have it. And this is hard to say because I literally just came back from vacation visiting with my cousin, and it was her father that died of this horrific illness that none of us in our family knew about. But the problem with ALS is you can get a feeding tube, but once you're beyond the point of being able to swallow and everything has shut down like that, the feeding tube really doesn't have the same effect. Dane, he was talking to Diane Sawyer about his disease, and he said that he's heartbroken. Oh no, he was on Good Morning America on June 16th talking about it. And he said, I wake up every day and I'm immediately reminded that this is happening, Dane told Sawyer. It's not a dream. But here's the thing, what they're failing to mention to you, and I'm not trying to minimize his illness, is that he can survive this for a long time. I mean, like I said there's people that are living right now, like I said, Steve Gleason, 1979 to right now, that's 45 years, former NFL player, and he's still alive. I'm concerned for people who are suffering from ALS. They've waited too long and they don't know what to do. A lot of people don't know that there is no cure. There's nothing. They have ALS walks, they have runs, they have fundraising, and there's nothing that the doctors have concluded that is a actual treatment really that would help everyone, right? Once you get past the late stage. Now, prior to that late stage, like I said, you can find different treatments like the feeding tubes, or they probably have all kinds of different things they do to help them. Stephen Hawking, as we saw there, he lost all verbal, but he was still able to communicate via that chair that he was hooked up to. They say who are the people that are likely to get ALS? So this is just from my experience. My uncle worked in a workshop. He was an upholstery maker, and he worked with chemicals like glue. He would use a lot of different chemicals like those foam padding for making chairs, making car seats, actual seats for cars and stuff. He could do all of that. He upholsters cars, tables, chairs, and he was around a lot of very toxic chemicals. In fact, I was exposed to a lot of it because I would be in the shop a lot with my uncle. And I remember those smells. And I wonder, and this is just my opinion, if some of it is an environmental exposure that could, make the symptoms worse. Maybe it's already there and these things just make it worse. But ALS it's not something that a lot of people have. So I just feel like Dane's situation, if he caught it early, I think that he can still live a pretty long life still, another 30 years with this disease. It's like we've been seeing all these celebrities, get exposed with things that they should have died of. Like when I heard Magic Johnson had HIV positive, all these other people that were in the same shoe with him, all of them died, but Magic Johnson. Why is that? I believe that celebrities have treatments. They are exposed to treatments that are way better than the average American. It's why, King Charles and Catherine Middleton, I believe, will be okay. They won't die of cancer. If anything, they'll die of natural causes. Just my opinion, guys. Same thing with that actress, Selma Selma Blair, she's diagnosed, I think she has MS, and I think Christina Applegate just got diagnosed with something. So the good thing out of that is that the more rich people and the more celebrities the more these rich folks get these horrible diagnoses, it's a better probability of us figuring out that there is some sort of treatment, that there is some way to keep people alive longer, and people can ask and press questions. What kind of treatments are you getting? You know, I would have loved to see more of that. Like, you know, questions like how long, what were your symptoms? What are some of the things that you did to help yourself feel better so that you can still act? Eric Dane is still acting. He said he's still going to be acting. He's looking forward to acting some more. He's not planning to stop doing his profession. And so I always wonder if this is bringing more light to these horrible illnesses like ALS, can we get some of the information? It's just like when we see celebrities with youthful skin, youthful face, you know, great. They look great at like 60 and 70 and 80. And yet they're not ponying up any of their remedies. They're not saying what they're doing. They're not giving any information. They're very vague, and it's intentional. It's almost like they don't want to share some of what they're doing. And so it's up to us to pressure them. I would say with this ALS, diagnosis, Eric Dane, please don't hold all this information to yourself. Please share with the rest of the world what you are doing, because there are a lot of people out there fighting with this illness right now. And your diagnosis is going to bring a shining light, a spotlight on this illness, and help other people who are suffering. Anyways, you guys tell me what you think. Have a great day.